Imagine a floating fortress, a steel island stretching over 1,100 feet across the restless waves of the Atlantic. This is not just a ship, it is a pinnacle of human engineering, a $13 billion masterpiece that redefines the meaning of naval power. In July 2017, the world watched as the United States military officially commissioned its largest and most advanced aircraft carrier to date, the USS Gerald R. Ford. Constructed over 4 grueling years by the master shipbuilders at Newport News, this vessel represents a bridge between the traditional naval warfare of the past and the high-tech digital battlefield of the future. Yet beyond the cold steel and the hum of nuclear reactors lies a much more human story, a story of 4,500 crew members who call this massive structure home. The journey of the Gerald R. Ford begins long before it reaches the open ocean. To see this Titan move is to witness a delicate ballet of raw power and careful coordination. It starts at the pier, where massive mooring lines, some as thick as a grown man's arm and weighing thousands of pounds, hold the ship to the dock. Removing these lines is a labor-intensive process that can take hours of preparation. Even with its state-of-the-art engines capable of pushing the vessel to speeds exceeding 35 miles per hour, the ship is remarkably vulnerable in shallow waters. Because its traditional rudder system is less effective at slow speeds, a specialized team of tugboats must push and pull the 100,000-ton behemoth into deeper channels. Only once the underwater obstacles are cleared can the Gerald R. Ford finally surge ahead under its own nuclear power. As the ship moves further from the coast, the atmosphere on board shifts from the logistical grind of departure to the intense focus of active duty. The captain, often referred to as the captain of the team, oversees a crew of over 2,600 direct subordinates who look to him for guidance. But as any commander will tell you, the success of the mission rests on the shoulders of every single sailor. It is a massive team effort where every individual role, from the cook in the galley to the technician in the reactor room, is vital to the ship's survival. If you find these stories of engineering marvels and military life fascinating, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to our channel. We have many more gripping tales from history and modern technology waiting for you. One of the first and most critical tasks upon reaching the open sea is the FOD walk. For as long as jets have flown from decks, crews have meticulously inspected every square inch for foreign object debris. Bolts, tiny scraps of metal, or even a loose coin can be sucked into a jet engine, destroying a multi-million-dollar aircraft in seconds. This daily ritual involves the entire flight deck crew walking in a long line, eyes glued to the ground, ensuring that the heart of the ship's strike power remains safe. This is where our journey into the life of the world's most powerful carrier truly begins. To understand the USS Gerald R. Ford, one must stop looking at it as a weapon and start seeing it as a floating city. With thousands of souls living within its steel hull for months at a time, the logistical requirements are staggering. At the center of this social ecosystem is the food service division. Feeding 4,500 people 3 times a day, plus snacks and mid-watch meals, requires a team of nearly 100 culinary specialists. They operate a commissary that rivals the world's busiest restaurants, churning out roughly 12,000 meals every single day. The focus is not just on quantity, but on morale. On a long deployment, food is often the only thing a sailor has to look forward to. This is why holidays are treated with such reverence. The Gerald R. Ford has become famous for its Thanksgiving feasts, where the team spends 2 full days preparing over 50 turkeys, 40 hams, and massive cuts of prime rib. These events turn the mess hall into an upscale dining room, providing a brief but essential sense of home and family in the middle of the ocean. Beyond holidays, the crew finds ways to mingle through talent shows, magic acts, and musical performances, bridging the gap between their duty and their humanity. However, the city must always be ready for war. Work shifts are grueling. often split into 12-hour or 4-hour increments depending on the mission's intensity. To keep the crew in peak physical condition, the Navy implements rigorous programs like the 77-Day Warrior Challenge. These fitness competitions serve a dual purpose. They ensure every sailor is physically capable of handling the demands of combat, and they foster a fierce sense of camaraderie through friendly competition. Maintaining this city is a never-ending battle against the elements. A carrier is a complex machine, and like any machine, things break. The stakes, however, are much higher than on land. Take, for example, the air conditioning units. On a carrier like the USS Ronald Reagan, just 6 units serve 5,000 people. If one fails in the sweltering heat of the tropics, it isn't just a matter of discomfort, it's a health crisis. Maintenance crews are the unsung heroes here. They have been known to fabricate and machine entirely new replacement parts, like shaft collars for pumps, while still at sea. This ability to innovate and repair on the fly is what keeps the carrier operational when thousands of miles away from the nearest port. When supplies run low, the ship employs a maneuver known as underway replenishment. A tanker vessel pulls alongside the moving carrier, and lines are shot between the two ships. Hoses and conveyors are then strung across the gap, allowing for the transfer of fuel, water, and munitions while both ships maintain their heading at sea. This allows the Gerald R. Ford to stay on mission indefinitely, a feat of logistics that remains one of the U.S. Navy's greatest strategic advantages. The brain of this massive organism is the navigation bridge, located atop the 555 metric ton island on the starboard side of the deck. This is the tallest point of the ship, housing the primary air control centers and the complex radar and communication arrays. Here, officers navigate using the most advanced satellite and digital systems available. Yet, in an era of electronic warfare, the crew must remain masters of the old ways. Should an EMP strike or satellite signals be jammed, the navigators revert to centuries-old tools, paper maps and sextants. This blend of ancient wisdom and futuristic tech is the hallmark of modern naval readiness. Below the bridge, the flight deck remains a place of constant controlled chaos. A standard carrier carries between 50 and 75 aircraft. Launching a 30-ton jet from a short runway requires the catapult system. On the Gerald R. Ford, the front wheel of the aircraft is attached to a shuttle that flings the plane forward at 160 miles per hour in just a few hundred feet. This operation is orchestrated by crews wearing color-coded vests, purple for fuel, yellow and green for catapult operations and direction, and red for ordnance and weapons. The entire process is monitored from the launch bubble, a small reinforced station located inside the ship's deck itself. From here, personnel have an eye-level view of the entire flight deck. They monitor wind speed, deck tilt, and weather conditions, communicating with the deck crews to ensure every launch and recovery is perfect. On any given day, dozens of sorties are flown. These aren't always for combat, they are for practice. Pilots and deck crews must maintain a state of constant readiness, ensuring that if the call ever comes, the response will be instinctive and flawless. Whether it is fighting a simulated fire during a general quarters drill or launching a strike group into the sunset, life on the USS Gerald R. Ford is a testament to human discipline. It is a world where high-tech machinery meets the grit of the American sailor. As the sun sets over the horizon, the lights of the island continue to glow, a silent sentinel of the seas, ready for whatever the future might hold. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of a floating fortress, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss our next journey into the untold stories of our world's most incredible machines.